Alright gang, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at the scenario if I owned 500 shares of SoFi, how I can start selling covered calls and accumulating more shares over time. And if you like this kind of content, you want to follow along with me selling options, or at least trying to make some extra money, please consider subscribing. Also, if you're wondering throughout this video how you can do this on your own, you want some more information, I do have a course. I linked it down below. You can go check it out. It helps out the channel and it teaches you everything you need to know to get started selling options if you choose to do so. And if we hop over to Robinhood, we can look at how many shares of SoFi I currently own. And I'm using my example here on SoFi stock, but of course you can swap that with any other stock that you like. I'm just using it because this is one that I actively do this on. So I have over 5,000 shares right now, which is way more than I would ever usually have in a single stock. And the reason I have so much is because I've been selling options on SoFi and other stocks and just reinvesting the money back into more shares of SoFi. And that's how I've accumulated over 5,000 shares over time. And to show you an example of what selling a call option looks like, if we go to trade SoFi options and sell a call, let's say we're selling one that expires next week. And here I have two options that look tempting. I have a $15 strike that has a 76% chance of expiring worthless, which we ultimately want to happen. And I'll make $25 selling this call option, or this $15.50 with an 83% chance of expiring worthless, which will net me $14 in premium. No matter which one I sell, if I sell either one of these, the money instantly goes into my account. And if I sell multiple, I'll have more money to buy more shares of SoFi. And I actually am working on a web app right now that you upload your Robinhood statement. It aggregates all the data and tells you how much you're actually making from selling options. And this is just from yesterday. So I made $238.55 yesterday alone just selling options. And then you can see, okay, how many shares is this going to buy from one day of selling options? How many shares of SoFi can I buy with this? And hopefully you can see how it can just compound over time. So I hopped over to ChatGPT and I gave it a scenario of, okay, let's say we have 500 shares of SoFi and I sell covered calls weekly and make on average $20 in premium each week from each contract. Now, of course, this is assuming just everything goes right and I don't have to roll if SoFi were to spike for some reason and make maybe less premium one week than I would the next. So I wouldn't take this as gospel that, yeah, this is going to happen, because obviously with investing, anything can go wrong. There is risk. I'm not going to come on here and tell you, oh, you can retire with like 3,000 shares of SoFi and be perfectly comfortable, because you probably can't, or at least you're not going to be comfortable doing so, wrapped up in one single company. But regardless, I like to run through these scenarios because I think they're motivating. Because if we see over time, month one, we have our initial 500 shares and I make $433 in income selling options that month. And if I reinvest it back into more shares of SoFi, we can see month two, I have 530 shares, which isn't enough to add another call option yet. But come month five, we have now 600 plus shares. So I can sell another call option, making even more monthly income. Month 8, we pass 700 total shares. Month 10, 800 total shares. And month 12, we're actually over 900 shares. Also, this is assuming SoFi stock price stays around where it is today. If SoFi stock price goes up, you're going to need more money to purchase 100 shares than you would today. But if everything stays consistent, we can see at month 12, we went from $433 in monthly income to $779 in monthly income, just from starting out with 500 shares. And if we wanted to, we can also throw into this scenario, what if I also sell cash secured puts and I use margin as collateral? That way, I can use the bank's money. As long as I don't get assigned those shares, then I have to put up my own money, or I could use margin, but I will accrue interest. But in the meantime, if I'm just selling puts without them being assigned, I can use margin to try to make even more income, which I don't recommend if you don't have the money somewhere else in case you get assigned those shares. But from time to time, I like to run through these scenarios, maybe with different numbers, and I can tweak how they break down month by month to make it more realistic. But I like to do this from time to time, just as, like I said, motivation to continue to do this, see the future, see the potential outcome. And overall, I just think it's really cool. So hopefully you do too. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you want to learn more about selling options, check out the course. It's linked down below. And I hope to see you in a future video.